morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in. We have a lot to talk about. I don't even know where to start, actually, to be honest with you. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs as well. We've got NFL draft this week. Um, we've got, Harbor Town. That was a great tournament. Unfortunately, it didn't work out great for us betting wise, but Justin Thomas going and burying that 20-footer for the win in the playoff. That was awesome. I feel like I'm missing other baseball. Like there's just too much going on right now. So we have tons to talk about today. I'll update you guys on the schedule and what's going to be going on this week specifically with the draft. And then we'll talk basketball, recap that, talk about basketball tonight, and then look at baseball as well. So first and foremost, yesterday, Jim, good morning. Nice little 4-2 betting card, which was that was good to lock that in. Easter Sunday, lock in a win. Should have been 5-1. Zach Edey. So if you guys think back to last week on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was, Nathan, good morning. So when we were talking about the Grizzlies, and I told you guys I was concerned, that Zach Edey could just get played off the floor in these big games. And that didn't happen in the play-in games, but it happened yesterday against OKC. So of course, I took Edey 10 rebounds. Even with him sucking, I thought he should get 10 rebounds. Of course, he got 9. So should have been a 5-1, but he only got 9 rebounds, didn't come back in for the rest of the game. I would expect, honestly, Memphis to start Marvin Bagley. I'd be pretty surprised if they don't start Marvin Bagley in their next game. I mean, OKC was just completely cooking, Zach Edey defensively. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But 4-2 day yesterday, should have been 5-1. But I'll take the profit. Oh, WrestleMania. So I know probably some wrestling fans in here. That was going on over the weekend. Like super action-packed weekend there. But all right, so let's start with NBA, and we'll start with the okay, first we'll do the schedule. So here's the schedule. Today on the Rolling Insights blog, by tonight you will have quarterback and running back rankings from me for the upcoming draft. Tomorrow you will have wide receiver and tight end rankings. Wednesday you will have a mock draft, and we'll fill out a mock draft on the stream and enter it into, some people do mock draft contests for accuracy, whatever. So we'll do some of those on Wednesday. And then I also will have a blog out for just my favorite players as pertaining to fantasy football and who I think, are potential, guys to keep an eye on that I'm higher on than consensus. So tons of blog posts coming this week. Obviously, we'll be talking stuff on the streams. We'll be filling out the mock draft on the stream. We'll also be talking draft bets on the stream. I've only seen one draft prop that I like so far, but hopefully we can find some more, find some other ones. We'll talk about that. But tons of NFL draft content coming this week. As for basketball, if we start with Saturday, so we'll start with the Saturday games. First game of the day was Pacers and Bucks. If you guys followed along, I gave out 3 first-round NBA playoff series bets, one of which was the Knicks and Pacers just to win the series, parlayed together. We had the Golden State Warriors -1.5, which is my favorite play, my biggest play. And then we had the Nuggets to win game 1 and lose the series at like +310 or something around those odds, 3-1 odds for Nuggets to win game 1 but lose the series. I told you guys I like the Clippers, but I thought there was a chance the Nuggets won game 1. They won it in overtime. I don't really we'll dive in. We'll go in order. So first game of the day was Bucks and Pacers. The Bucks just I don't think they're on the same level team-wise as the Pacers. I feel bad for Giannis just getting completely nothing from any role player on his team. Guru, I saw you in the chat. Kuz should be ashamed. Kyle Kuzma put up the Tony Snell 000, played 22 minutes, did not record a stat, no points, no rebounds, no assists. Completely insane. Brook Lopez played 21 minutes. He had 9 points and 4 boards. Taurean Prince played 20 minutes. He did not score, had 3 assists and 2 rebounds. Ryan Rollins played 19 minutes, 5, 3, and 2 line. Kevin Porter Jr., 29 minutes, had 12 points, 5 and 5. And then, AJ Green and Gary Trent both had 15 and 14 respectively. Bobby Portis was a no-show, 4 points, 8 boards in 25 minutes. The Bucks. Ryan, good morning. I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Milwaukee Bucks, to be honest with you. Feel bad for Giannis. I don't think they have a chance in this series, personally. So I'm feeling pretty confident with the Pacers leg of our bet there. Obviously, the Bucks are missing Dame, but just getting a complete zero from what is supposed to be essentially your third option in Kyle Kuzma, someone that they traded Chris Middleton for at the deadline, that has to be kind of a tough scene for the locker room over there. I would not be shocked if Giannis, I'm trying not to be prisoner of the moment, but some uncomfortable discussions may need to be had, this summer as it pertains to Giannis and his future with the Milwaukee Bucks, because I feel like, they won a title right there around COVID times. But if you look at the team, right? Drew Holiday, no longer on the team. Chris Middleton, no longer on the team. Damian Lillard trade did not work out, as of right now. And I don't really know long term if I don't know what the long term is of Lillard being on the Bucks either. So overall, if you look at the team that the Bucks won the title with, it's basically just Giannis left and Bobby Portis. I don't know. I think some uncomfortable conversations need to be had this summer, and that's all I'll say. But I think the Pacers look like the better team, and the Pacers are going to win the series. Current odds on that are Pacers. I don't see odds available for this, but I'm pretty sure when I looked last night, it was like minus 400. So, yeah, that's my thoughts there. Next up was the Knicks and the Pistons. Oh, no, actually, the Nuggets-Clippers was the second game, and then Knicks-Pistons was 6 o'clock. So, Clippers-Nuggets, kind of what I talked about. I think the Clippers are the better team here, top to bottom. The Nuggets are top-heavy. They have the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic. They have Jamal Murray, who we know is going to show up in the playoffs. He does it every single year. He did that on Saturday. It took him a while to get a shot going, but he was there, late in the second half when he needed to be. I think Aaron Gordon's very good. And I think Christian Brown is a solid role player, but they just don't have anything else. They only played an 8-man rotation, and, they played an 8-man rotation, and one of those 8 players was Jalen Pickett, who played 5 minutes. So essentially they played a 7-man rotation. Michael Porter Jr. looks completely checked out. Again, 3 points, 4 boards in 26 minutes. He didn't close the game. They benched him, in the fourth quarter. He didn't come back in. Another guy that, I don't know if he'll be on the Nuggets next year. And I think back to whatever that was last week or the week before when we were talking about it on stream, right when they fired Mike Malone, that reporter was in the locker room, asked Michael Porter Jr. about Christian Brown taking the team out to dinner. And I didn't know if it was a joke or not, but Michael Porter Jr. was like, what dinner? Like, basically the team went out to dinner, didn't ask Michael Porter Jr. to come. I don't know. I don't know the dynamics of the Nuggets locker room, but that seemed weird to me. And he just looks checked out to me. So I don't really think the Nuggets have any chance to go to the finals with Michael Porter Jr. just checked out. And they asked, Joker about that after the game on Saturday. They said, what can you do to keep MPJ engaged? And he basically said, if you're not engaged right now, like you shouldn't be playing basketball. So I don't know. I don't really trust the Nuggets. I don't really trust like the road that like it's basically Jokic, Murray, and Aaron Gordon. Like they're basically playing three guys and Brown. Like Russell Westbrook, I'm sorry. I don't trust him to have that type of performance again in this series. And I don't trust him to make a corner three to essentially win the game again. I just don't trust that. So I think the Nuggets' luck will run out. Even if it doesn't, I don't see how the Nuggets would have any chance against the Thunder. Like they're playing 7 guys, and this series is probably going to go 6 or 7. Like they're going to be just so exhausted and beat up already, and then have to go play the Thunder, who are going to sweep probably the Grizzlies or win in 5 games. Like the Thunder are going to be perfectly rested when they play whoever wins this series, and whoever wins this series is going to be anything but rested. So that's a tough outlook, but overall I think the Clippers are going to get it done. I think the Clippers are going to win tonight, and we'll see what happens there. I mean, the Clippers are favored in this game, which I don't think shocking. Like I said, I just can't really bet on Russell Westbrook doing what he did over the weekend. It's too volatile. We've seen this time and time again with Russell Westbrook. It's sometimes he'll do it, and most of the time he won't on the biggest stage. So I like the Clippers in this series. Because Denver won the first game, you can get plus money on the Clippers here at plus 118. I don't need to bet that because we took Denver to win game 1 and Clippers to win the series at 3-1. So we already have a 3-1 on the Clippers to win the series. There's no reason for me to bet it. But I would, if you don't have that ticket like we do, or people that tail the bets, I would consider hitting the Clippers here at plus money. I think they're going to win the series. I just don't think Denver has enough to hold up over a full 7 games, but we'll see what happens. I like the Clippers, though. Knicks and Pistons still feel pretty good about I think the Pistons are going to win in 5 games. I think the Knicks are going to win in 5 games. The Pistons just did kind of what we expected them to do. They looked great for 3 quarters, and then, a young team just showed up in the 4th quarter. And the Knicks playoff experience showed through there. JB Bickerstaff, that was like a vintage JB Bickerstaff coaching performance, that run that the Pistons gave up. And to be honest with you, I just don't know. Like the Knicks are like OG. I thought OG did really good on Cade. He had 21 points. He had to get involved as a facilitator. He had 12 assists, but I feel like the Knicks probably feel pretty confident in how they can defend Cade Cunningham. And I don't know, like, who else can step up for Detroit? Like Tobias Harris is going to do what he does. Asar Thompson only had 10 points, but can you really expect Asar Thompson to have big offensive performances over the stretch of a series when he has to expend so much energy defending Jalen Brunson? That's not something I'm looking to bet on. And then, Malik Beasley did what he did. He hit some threes. I think he's going to be a big factor for them offensively. So we're going to make a parlay for the Knicks game tonight later on. Malik Beasley is going to be part of that. But then you have Dennis Schroeder, played 26 minutes. He had 8 points, but Schroeder is such a liability defensively that Detroit's really not able to play him for many more minutes. So in terms of outside of Cade Cunningham, they really don't have another guy that can create opportunities and initiate offense other than Dennis Schroeder, but he's not good enough on the defensive end to be on the floor for an extended period of time. So I think it puts Detroit as a whole as just a big disadvantage. And I still feel, I know like Brunson's banged up, but I don't know. I think the Knicks should have no issues, honestly, with this series. So sticking with that, feel pretty confident in that one. And, we have the Knicks and Pacers kind of parlayed. Then we get to the fun stuff, the Saturday night game, Lakers and Timberwolves. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look, I didn't bet on this, thankfully. I mean, you guys know I picked the Lakers to win the series, but I told you whenever we were talking about it, the Timberwolves can win the series, obviously. We didn't bet on the Lakers. If I were a Lakers fan, I would be pretty concerned right now. I think the Lakers, they didn't have to play in the play-in, so they were pretty rested up. No way Minnie hits that much threes again. I agree, Guru, but at the same time, like you can say the same thing. Anthony Edwards had 22 points. Like, he really didn't do anything, and they won by 20. So I think if you were the Lakers, you should be pretty concerned. Anthony Edwards did nothing, and they won the game easily. And the Lakers were rested. They didn't have to play in the play-in, so they're rested coming into this game. And LeBron James, for the first time, I think truly for the first time in my lifetime, LeBron James looked human in the playoffs. He did not play good. So can he come out and play significantly better tomorrow night? Yes. Well, he 100% can. But I think it's concerning that the Lakers had time off to rest and LeBron looked that bad. Because the Lakers are very, very, very top heavy. You have LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves. What else do you have other than that? They don't have anything. You're basically how the Lakers need to win. Luka's going to go get you 30 to 40. LeBron's going to do his thing. Reeves is going to get you 20 plus. And then maybe you can get 2 threes from Rui Hachimura. You can get, a 3 from Dorian Finney-Smith, a 3 from Gabe Vincent, right? Like, they don't have anything after their big 3. So when one member of that big 3 does not play good, and I mean, Austin Reeves only had 16 points too, so he's not fully innocent here either. If those big 3 aren't going to show up, the Lakers have no chance to win this series. They don't have any role players to rely on. It is a very, very top-heavy team. And Minnesota, the top end of the Lakers roster is better than Minnesota. When you think about Luka and LeBron versus, Ant and Julius Randle, right? The top end of the Lakers is better. But depth-wise, role player-wise, Minnesota is far and away better. They can get big games from Naz Reid, right? And Dante DiVincenzo and Jaden McDaniels, who's been pretty volatile, but still, they can get even Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But like Naz Reid is legitimately would be like the third, definitely the 4th best player on the Lakers. I'd put him after Reeves, but clearly the best role player in the series is Naz Reid. So I do agree that, the Timberwolves, McDaniels, and Naz Reid, they're probably not going to hit threes at the clip that they did in game 1 again. But the Timberwolves can make up for that because Anthony Edwards didn't do anything in that game, and they won by 25 points. So I would go as far as to say tomorrow night is a must-win for the Lakers. The Lakers cannot go to Minnesota down 2-0. They can't. If they go to Minnesota down 2-0, I mean, sweep is in question. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but that's how bad LeBron looked in that first game. So I do expect LeBron to be better tomorrow night. I expect him to be as engaged as he possibly can be. But this is must-win territory for the Lakers. They cannot go down to Minnesota down 2-0. They can't. So we'll see what happens, but I'm just being honest with you. Like the Timberwolves have to be, pretty happy. Like, yes, they're not going to shoot that well again, but again, Anthony Edwards had a bad game by all stretches. And they won handily. So we're in must-win territory for the Lakers. I honestly may add live on Minnesota. I really don't want to bet against, playoff Luka, but Uh, let's see here. I mean, I think like a 4-2 is in play right here. I am not gonna lie to you. I think like a Minnesota 4-2 is in the cards here. So I may just bet Timberwolves for the series, to be honest, at minus 130. I can't believe it. I can't believe how bad LeBron looked. It was crazy. Never in my life would I have expected that. But I mean, the guy's 40 years old, so it's going to happen at some point. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I want to see what happens tomorrow. I'm not calling the Lakers dead by any stretch. I'm just telling you guys how I viewed it. Anthony Edwards not really doing anything and them handily winning. I'm a little bit concerned for the Lakers. They need to win tomorrow night. All right, and then switching to Sunday. So we had first game of the day was Grizzlies Thunder. I mean, the Grizzlies do not belong in this series. They got completely just rolled. I don't really think there's much we need to talk about. The Thunder are going to coast to a sweep or a five game win, and they're just going to sit back and watch the Clippers and Nuggets destroy each other to see who they play. Same can be said for the Magic and Celtics. Yeah, Magic will be lucky to win a game. Boston is too good. They were losing at halftime, and it did not matter. They started out a little slow. Didn't matter. Derek White is unbelievable. We've sung the praises of Derek White on this stream for multiple years now, but I'm just telling you guys, the Boston Celtics would not be NBA champions and have a really good chance to win another without Derek White. He's their most important player. He does not get the respect he deserves. I will give Derek White his flowers. Dude is unbelievable. Boston still is just so corny, though. It's like I can't like them. Like, I don't know if you saw like Jaylen Brown mic'd up before the game talking about Hogwarts or whatever he was saying. They try so hard to be cool, and they're not, unfortunately. But Derek White's cool. Derek White's the coolest player on the Boston Celtics. But the Boston Celtics are going to win the title again, I think. So it is what it is. But they should have no problems. They're going to roll the Magic. Cavs and Heat. I think the Heat will get a game, but we've said this like for weeks now. I've told you guys the East is very top heavy. The West, you can get in some chaos. The East, it's the Celtics and the Cavs. The Heat might get a game, but we're just on a collision course of the Celtics and Cavs Eastern Conference Finals. It just is what it is. Donovan Mitchell had a calm 30. Like, he really didn't even play for much of the fourth quarter because Ty Jerome was going completely nuclear off the bench. I saw a lot of people saying, Ty Jerome won't do that again. Like, are you guys like, Ty Jerome is like a finalist for 6th man of the year. I don't know. Like, he's played amazing all season. It's not like this guy came out of nowhere and did this in the playoffs. Like, he's played great all season. I thought the rotation for the Cavs was interesting, though. I think they played Isaac Okoro 13 minutes, and they played DeAndre Hunter 16 minutes. That needs to change. Isaac Okoro is absolutely terrible. Just a complete – and look, DeAndre Hunter didn't score. I'm not defending DeAndre Hunter's offensive performance yesterday, but Isaac Okoro is a literal black hole on offense. He's so bad. DeAndre Hunter, you at least have the threat that he can play better on offense. So I would look for this to flip-flop a little bit going into game 2. I would expect we probably see some more Hunter minutes, assuming he plays a little bit better. I think the rotation will get trimmed down. I mean, these 1 minutes were the last minute of the game, so you can take that out. But, Dean Wade, probably we don't need 6 minutes of Dean Wade, and we do not need 13 minutes of Isaac Okoro. So I could see the Cavs trimming their rotation down a little bit. I could see Mobley playing a little bit better offensively. Defensively, he does, what he does. But I don't think the Cavs will have any issues advancing from this series. And then we get to the big game last night, Warriors-Rockets. Oh man. What can someone in the chat tell me, like, I started to think yesterday, I was like, maybe I'm crazy because I told you guys Golden State minus 1.5, favorite series bet. I have my only future right now for a title is on Golden State. And then I have the Golden State Boston exact finals matchup ticket as well. So I would say I'm pretty high on this Golden State team. And I also bet them on the money line yesterday at plus 100. All I saw yesterday was people taking the Houston Rockets in that game. And I was like, I started like we got to so WrestleMania came out at 7. I was watching that, so I kind of forgot about it by that point. But we hit a point at like 6 p.m. where I started to like second guess. I'm like, am I like crazy? Why am I the only person that I've seen on the world? Like all I saw yesterday were people taking Houston Rockets. I did not understand it. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying Houston can't win the series. They're the 2 seed. They certainly can, but I really don't think these two teams are like on the same level, personally. The only way that the Rockets were scoring yesterday is when the Warriors started turning the ball over in the second half and they made a run. If the Warriors don't shoot themselves in the foot with turnovers, this is like a 5-game series, I think. Jimmy Butler looks engaged and he looks like playoff Jimmy. Steph Curry, you just can't stop him. I thought it was absolutely hilarious the way that the Houston Rockets were trying to defend Steph Curry. They were like, okay, off ball, we're just going to completely just bear hug him, be very, very physical with him off the ball. Like that was going to throw him off or something. And he just calmly dropped 30 on them, hitting insane, running 3-pointers in the quarter. I don't know. I mean, they're going to keep doing it, but I just thought it was hilarious how physical they were being with Curry off the ball. And it wasn't like clearly the refs weren't interested in calling it. And that's fine. I'm all for physical basketball. I love it. I just thought it was funny. Like Steph Curry just completely buried them. Fred and Green will play better, and Golden State can't match up with Houston bigs. I mean, I agree. I agree. Golden State can't match up with Houston bigs, but I mean, I don't really think they need to. And I mean, Fred VanVleet will play better. You can say Jalen Green will play better, but I really just don't know if he will, to be honest with you. I mean, he hasn't played good for quite some time. I mean, if you look at his last few games of the regular season, he was balling out at the beginning of February and then, 5 points against the Clippers, 7 against the Lakers, 2 against the Nuggets. Now, obviously, he didn't play anywhere close to full minutes in these games because they were resting him. But just talking pure shooting wise, we don't need to look at the raw point totals because he didn't play as many minutes. But 2 of 7, 3 of 10, 0 of 7, and then he shot 3 of 15 last night. I don't know. I don't know how much better he will play. Fred VanVleet, I would agree, probably will play better. He's not going to shoot 1 of 11 from deep or whatever he did last night. But I don't know. I think the Warriors' experience is too much. I think I don't know. We'll see what happens. This will be a big game. Rockets obviously this is must win for the Rockets. They can't go to Golden State down 2-0. So again, it's getting late early in some of these series. We had some must win games coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday. Rockets are favored in the game. If we look at the series price, Warriors are minus 370. And their line moved to 2.5 as well for the series. So I don't know. I like this Warriors team, man. I like how they play. I think Jimmy Butler, as much as I hated on them for making the trade because I thought it was stupid unless they win the title this year, I mean, I can't overstate how much it helped Steph Curry because in recent years, they really couldn't take Steph Curry off the floor. And now they have Jimmy Butler, who's going to play like essentially every minute of the game. Like they can rest Steph Curry at periods of the game and have Jimmy Butler initiate the offense. And they didn't have that opportunity before when they had Klay Thompson. He's not someone that's going to initiate the offense. So, that is a big, big factor for them in a series. And, he looks engaged. So I feel pretty confident in my Warriors pick, but we'll see what happens. As for tonight's games, I told you guys we're going to make some parlays. I have 2 parlays I like for tonight. Starting in the Knicks Pistons game. We're going to take Knicks on the money line. We're going to take Karl Anthony Towns for 20 points. Now, Karl Anthony Towns, if you look at raw usage rate from Saturday, it doesn't look very good. I do think he will be more involved tonight offensively, though. He still had 23 points on Saturday. But he only took 3 threes. He hasn't been shooting a lot of threes down the stretch of the season. But I think there's room for him to kind of get more involved offensively. He was third on the team in field goal attempts behind OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson. I think he could flip-flop with OG. I could see him taking 18, 19, 20 shots tonight, taking a little more shots. So I'm going to take Karl Anthony Towns for 20-plus points with the Knicks money line at minus 126. And then we are going to also add in 10 points for Malik Beasley, which gets this to plus 124. So I like this parlay for tonight. Malik Beasley is going to continue to get 3-point attempts. He made quite a few of them on Saturday. I honestly think you could take Beasley for 15 points in this spot because they just don't have anyone other than Cade. He's going to have to score. So if you want to get it to 2-1, you can do that. But I'm just making a clean little 3-leg here. We'll take him for 10 points, plus 124 odds on that one. And then I have another one that we're going to make as well. What are your thoughts on Harden tonight? Recently, always played well game one. And you like him for another 25? I do. I just don't think defensively they can match up with him. And I think he's going to continue to have a pretty big series personally. So here's one parlay. Knicks, money line, Towns, 20 points. Malik Beasley, 10 points. Clean and easy, 3 legs, plus 124. For the later game, I'm going to be taking the Clippers to win the game with James Harden, 20-plus points, which is plus 119. And then we're actually going to pair this with an MLB leg, and we are going to pair that up with the Atlanta Braves first 5 innings money line, Spencer Schwellenbeck against Eric Fetty. This gets you plus 230. So 2 different parlays I like tonight. Spencer Schwellenbeck, someone I was high on coming into the season, drafted on all of my fantasy teams. I actually do think he will stick in the Cy Young race. He's been absolutely incredible. Now, he's outperformed his metrics a little bit. He is a 2.55 ERA, 3.27 expected, but good strikeout stuff. His hard hit rate is, still solid, below 40%. Expected batting average allowed is still solid. Overall, good numbers across the board for him. I like the matchup for him against the Cardinals. And then on the flip side, Eric Fetty has also outperformed his metrics this season. 3.43 ERA, 4.99 expected, which is a pretty big gap there. His walk rate is 13% this year. Strikeout rate, he has a higher walk rate than strikeout rate this year. Not good. Hard hit rate last year was at 37%. This year it's at 42%. So his hard hits are up. He also throws sinkers a lot, and a lot of guys on the Braves have a lot of success against sinkers. Namely, Matt Olson is a great sinker hitter last year, 285 expected batting average, 56% hard hit rate. Austin Riley is one of the best sinker hitters in the MLB last year. If we look at his numbers, 392 batting average, 350 expected, 62% hard hit rate. If you don't think that we are betting some Austin Riley home run tonight and hits, runs, RBIs, you're crazy. Just fantastic spot for the Braves offense against a sinker baller in Eric Fetty. So 2 different parlays that I like tonight as my bigger plays. And then, for NBA, that's what I'm playing. The Knicks parlay and then this one. For MLB, just raw sides, I'm going to be betting Olsen home run. I'm going to be betting Riley home run, and then Riley hits, runs, RBIs. I also like I've kind of gone back and forth on this Phillies-Mets game. I'm trying to figure this out. So Aaron Nola this season has just not been good. 6.65 ERA. Now, four exact expected ERA, so definitely due for a little bit of positive regression there. But his walk rate's up to 9%. It hasn't been 9% since 2019. His strikeouts right around, what he normally does. Hard hit allowed right around what he normally does. So, all that's well and good. Could be, just a little bit of bad luck coming Aaron Nola's way. Although a large chunk of why he's been getting unlucky, I think, is this knuckle curve, which we know is one of his favorite pitches. It's his most used pitch. Last year he allowed a 218 expected batting average with it and a 37% whiff rate. This year his whiff rate on it is up to 43%, but much higher batting average allowed, 308. Expected though 246. So again, still probably getting a little bit unlucky. So I'm willing to kind of buy back in on Aaron Nola here. If we look at his history against the Mets, which we know he has a big history considering he's pitched in the same, division his entire career, 312 plate appearance sample size against the New York Mets active roster, 352 expected WOBA allowed, not good. 11.5 walk rate, not good. 271 batting average allowed, not very good. So he's definitely struggled against the Mets. And I like Tyler McGill on the other side too. So I can completely understand why the Mets are favored here. Just for fun, let's take a look at Aaron Nola's career in Citi Field. Let's see. Let's just take a look at that here. We'll do career pitching splits. Let me find this here. I mean, we're coming on. This is like year 10 for Aaron Nola, which is pretty crazy. All right, so just raw career pitching splits home and away. At home, he allows a 219 batting average. On the road, a 250. So, that's that. At home, 326 ERA, away 423. So we have a large sample size of Aaron Nola being considerably better at home versus on the road in his career. This game tonight obviously is on the road. Now let's take a look at his career in Citi Field, if I can find that. Here we go. Citi Field, 211 batting average allowed. So he has 14, it looks like 14 games. 211 batting average allowed is good. He's given up 11 home runs there. Overall, doesn't look too bad. So he allows, just for reference, 219 batting average. Again, way bigger sample size at home because he started, 130 games there or whatever. 219 batting average allowed, 211 at Citi Field. I don't know. He's been pretty good there. ERA in Citi Field 3.28. He's 6-6 there in his career. 3.28 ERA in 85 innings pitched. Not really sure what to draw from that, to be quite honest with you, but I don't know. I kind of like the Mets tonight. I want to buy low on Aaron Nola moving forward, but I also kind of like the Mets in this spot. So maybe, do we take first 5 or do we take the full game? Let's think here. I mean, I know Philly's bullpen has like really, really struggled. Jordan Romano to start the year, and the Mets bullpen's been really good. So I don't know. Maybe just take them on the money line here. So we'll take Mets on the money line, and we will take. Obviously, we have Braves first 5 in our one parlay, but Mets on the money line probably the only other MLB play for me tonight, other than Austin Riley home run. And I'm going to take his hits, runs, RBIs as well. Overall, though, I think that about does it for today's slate. If you guys joined up late, quarterback and running back rankings for me for the NFL draft are coming out today on the Rolling Insights blog. Tomorrow will be wide receiver and tight end. Wednesday will be mock draft. Thursday will be quote unquote like my guys that I'm higher on than consensus and that I'm really expecting big things from, both real life and fantasy football. So tons of draft content coming this week. Stay tuned for that. Tons of NBA content. Like we'll be talking NBA on the streams and all that good stuff as well. So good luck tonight with your bets. I will tweet out my plays later as well. If you joined up late, since we did so well yesterday, I'll tweet them out again today. Good luck tonight with your bets, DFS, whatever you're playing. And I'll see everybody tomorrow at 11 a.m.